Official prediction, guys. And I kind of like to call it breakdown. More than even prediction. I will give you one, but I kind of like to call it a breakdown. Because Josh Emmett versus Rodriguez is very, very interesting. I realize that they haven't told anybody they're fighting. I realize that. I realize that Josh and Yair have botched this championship fight more than Ciryl Gane and Francis Ngannou. They have botched this fight more than Robert Whittaker botched his rematch with Adesanya. I can't blame both of them. Adesanya was willing to do this. Whittaker took the night off. These guys make Whittaker look like a tactical hard worker in the strategies of fight promotion. They have done nothing. They have told nobody that they're fighting, but I bring that to you because that match is awesome. And Josh Emmett is a problem in this regard. Right? Nobody in life gets everything. Everything's a trade. If you want to be a big muscular guy and you go out and you get that power, you're not going to have great endurance. If you want to be a marathon guy and great endurance, you're not going to have the big, beautiful muscles. It's a trade. That's just one simple example, but we understand that. When you have in fighting an explosive powerhouse like Josh Emmett, the good news is he will fade every time. Just a simple example, but one that you know if you look at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, known as the greatest knockout artist ever, is not known for winning decisions. Just as an example. Josh Emmett breaks the rule. Josh Emmett is Jordan Burroughs-esque in that he is so powerful, he is so strong, he will shut your lights off. But the bad news is just as hard as he's hitting you in the first minute, he'll hit you in the 15th minute. He'll hit you just as hard in the 21st minute. Guys like that don't exist. They just don't. I mean, I had to go to Jordan Burroughs, one of the great athletes ever born, to find a comparison. It's very rare. It is the most intimidating thing about Josh. If you're in Yair's spot, or any other opponent came before him, you know you got to fight this guy. It's not just highlight reels, not just ranking, it's not just what he's done, things he said. It's his ability to hold up through the course of the evening. No matter what power he's put out before that, no matter how many shots you've given him, no matter how bad you've hurt him, he's still there. Very intimidating thing to have to deal with. Now, good news on Josh, you know what he's going to do. Yeah, that first couple of minutes, there'll be a little mix-up and a little diversity. By the third round, should it see the fourth round, he's going to hit you with the left, he's going to hit you with the right. Sometimes they're going to go to the head, sometimes they're going to the body, right? I mean, he's not this tricky guy. He's not what he's facing. Yair Rodriguez would go down as the most dynamic guy that I've ever seen. And I watched all of Demetrius Johnson's fight. I have Demetrius at number 2. In terms of sheer creativity and what he's going to go and do, and the video game-esque techniques that he's going to do, that are going to stump the announce team from telling the audience, because the announce team has never seen it before. I put Yair Rodriguez at number 1. Yair Rodriguez is making his run. What did he go? Guys, did he come through the Ultimate Fighter? Is that how he got exposed? But he was real young. And when he was coming through his run, Gilbert Melendez was a contender, top guy in the world. And Gilbert just shared with me, it was real brief and it was in passing. But there was definitely a possibility that these two are going to cross paths. And Gilbert just shared with me how impressed he was with all the different tools that Yair Rodriguez had. But I remember where we were in Bristol, Connecticut. It was a very interesting comment about a guy that was young and skinny and scrawny and unknown by a guy who'd been there, done that, and was still holding the top 3 spot. It's a very interesting comment. And that's before fast forward the tape. Yair Rodriguez. Remember that fight with the zombie when he ducks down and lifts an elbow and knocks him out at 4 minutes and 59 seconds? I mean, it's truly unbelievable. One thing about Rodriguez, you want to talk about how good Rodriguez is? They screwed him in his last fight. You guys, and he let you do it. Yair Rodriguez attempts a submission on the arm of Brian Ortega. When that position ended, not a sequence later, not a round later, the moment, simultaneous with that position coming to an end, the arm of his opponent is now damaged to the point that he can't continue. That's a submission. All day. The referee did not step in and call this off. The corner did not step in and call this off, yet it was called off. So who did it? Well, Ortega did. It's a verbal submission. Rules could not be clearer. There was nothing here that Ray Charles couldn't see. But that's not the way the story is told. That's not the way the sports books paid it out. They refused to accept that the dynamic striker could submit the black belt at all, let alone submit him with a basic armbar, let alone submit him with a basic armbar in the very first round. They refused to accept it to the point that they whitewashed it. But I'm sharing for you that it happened. So as you're trying to break this fight down, just please don't come to me with only the dynamic striking of Rodriguez versus the powerful, straightforward workman style approach of Emmett. Please don't do that. Emmett will take you to the ground. Excellent wrestling. But Rodriguez will attack you once you get there. I mean, this is a super interesting match. I mean, it really is. With two absolute studs. For sure. They suck at promotion to an extent that a rhetorical master like myself can't even begin to explain. I mean, I got to give them a whack for that. To outdo what Whitaker did in Adesanya Part 2, or to outdo Surreal and Francis, it's rare. Emmett and Rodriguez have done it. In spite of that, it's a great match. I do predict Emmett. It's going to go back and forth. It's going to be a problem. But ultimately, the deciding factor is going to be what I'm alluding to with the power later. And I could even live without the powder. It's the later that's the problem. You start to get into championship rounds, Emmett's going to still be after you. Between rounds 1, 2, and 3, Emmett needs to grab one of them. He will secure 4 and 5. And that is my prediction.